Oh, sweet. Okay, so we're going live.
Yeah, but nobody knows that for
Well, that's
real
all right.
though. Oh,
That's okay.
hey, can anybody throw some link over to Andy so he can put it out there as well? Anyone?
Just to like YouTube or something?
Yeah, YouTube or Facebook or something.
This seems like a good way to go live.
How am I
Yeah, I
sending it to
mean-
Andy?
Yeah.
Facebook message. You're not friends with him on Facebook?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, you guys, so rude.
I know.
I'll do it.
I mean,
God
it's
damn
your
it.
husband.
I mean, he's
like,
sitting
I
right
don't
there.
need to.
We figured you'd have this all sorted out.
I mean, I'll go
Well,
ahead and
my
add him as a
plan-
friend, but like, whatever.
My
Yeah.
plan was just make you guys do it, but whatever, it's fine. I'll do it. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Really coming in hot
I, mean,
today.
I did just friend request him, so like, if that helps you feel better.
Listen, can I welcome people to Into the Secure? Look, I did it again. Into the Obscure again. Can I just go ahead and welcome people now?
No, because
One
we're
more
not
minute
live
at
yet.
least.
Jesus Christ. So are you not paying attention?
The
What are
thing
you
says
doing?
live, man.
Yeah, but we're not live, just the logo and our
Oh.
voices because we're great.
Are
Okay.
people listening to the
So.
voices?
Oh
feel
boy,
like
I
people-
hope
we
so.
I feel like we should have
Hold
something
on.
to say in this interim.
Yep, it sure is live. And people,
Yep.
See?
I think
Told ya.
that's even funnier.
Told you. You should have let me welcome people.
I think it's funnier this way. Let me
Alright,
just share
talk
that
All
to
right,
my
I'm
page.
I'm going live, guys.
Okay.
I mean, you have
Okay,
been
put your-
live. You have been.
It's just going to be my face.
That's my favorite face.
Oh.
Hey, Andy, I sent you the link in Facebook Messenger. Sorry if that sucks, but that's the only way to do it. So, should we go live now?
I feel
But,
like we
like,
should go
for
live
real?
now.
We should
Yeah,
go live
like,
with
for
our
real.
faces.
Yeah.
Everyone loves our faces, you guys.
We
We
really
sure
do.
do.
All right. Count
Alright.
of now.
Oh, just me? Cool. Cool.
Oh.
Cool.
No, I'm right
cool.
here.
Cool.
We're
No,
all
that's
here.
great. No, that's fine.
There
That's
we
fine.
are.
We're all here. It
Hello.
is Tuesday night, which
Oh.
means that it is time for Into the Obscure. Welcome to everyone, our usual listeners, our new listeners, and anybody and everybody who came over from the Paranormal 60 podcast. We are so happy that you're here to see our faces and listen to our sweet, sweet dulcet tones. I'm Jenny.
I'm Tressa.
I'm Kara. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for listening to us.
So organized.
We have a lot of really good things going on, you guys, and so much fun and interesting things.
Oh, really? Like what?
Wow, like let me tell you. First of all, we are going to be on the Paranormal 60 network.
That's exciting. This is the
Yes.
first time ever hearing of this.
Well, you know what? It just happened. There was some moving and shaking and some deals being made. And we came up with Wednesday was a great day for us to air on the Paranormal 60 because you got Dave doing live
Uh-huh.
Paranormal 60 on Monday, and then that's released on Tuesday. He's live again on Wednesday, and it's released on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Jeff Ballinger, and that's
On Monday.
Mondays.
Exploring Legends on Mondays. And Kara, why can't I think of the name of the one
A
that's
True
on Fridays?
Hauntings podcast with
Thank you.
Ann and Renata. They are the most delightful women, and I'm kind
They
of obsessed with
are.
them now. I will admit, when I first heard that this was going to, that they would be on Dave's network on Paranormal 60, I was like, who are these women? What's going on? Probably pretty similar to what people are saying about us. But I have been listening to them every time they come on. I listen to only Paranormal 60 in my morning commute, and I am obsessed with these women now. So I love every time it's their episode. So I hope maybe they feel that way about us one day. That's my only hope and dream.
They really are delightful. Everyone on there is just delightful. That's it. It's just an entirely delightful paranormal week.
That sounds delightful.
I know. I know. You know what else would happened? You know
What?
what else would happened, you guys, this weekend?
What happened?
What happened was we met Josh Gates.
Oh, did we?
We
I don't
sure
remember
did.
doing that.
Oh, wait,
It's
no,
weird.
you
I
weren't
feel like
included.
oh,
You weren't there.
okay.
Maybe you
Thanks.
should have gotten tickets to go see Josh
Yeah,
Gates.
maybe you should pay for them. Okay, whatever.
It was a lot of fun. Pictures are up on our Facebook page and our Instagram page and all over Kara's every bit of social media. Because
That's what I did yesterday, in addition to work, pretty much obsessed over the order of posting things until I finally said I'm done. I am tapped
What?
out, you guys. I
Okay,
got to the end.
The most surprising thing about that is you said I'm done at some point
With-
about social media.
You're
I
right.
don't- I
That is very true. No, I had to move on to the next thing. So it was a little hard for me, but really anybody that was paying attention, it was a whole arc of photographs really going through the day, through the whole weekend. And any of you that missed it, if you're watching us, I decided to wear the shirt today. I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, you
Oh,
are. I can barely see it. It's just
for
like a
any, yeah, no,
banner.
because that's part of the reveal. So anybody that could watch us, I'm sorry for those of you that are listening on your commute like I do, but it is a fantastic shirt, and it says Dave Schrader is greater than Josh Gates, and a picture of the two of them together. So we walked around the Rialto Theater and at dinner, and through downtown Joliet, all in our matching shirts, looking like this. We got some looks, and
Where
that was
did
great.
you-
I loved it.
Where did you find that picture of Dave Schrader and Josh Gates making out?
It's a good question. He plastered it all over his social media.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
something about.
They're
something
both
about
really
that.
proud
right
of their
there.
relationship, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
they love
Good
each
for
other.
them. Good for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really, you guys, everybody, as funny and delightful as he is on the show, he's like that in real life, and it was awesome, which is, that's really cool. So it was a fun night, and we had a good time.
Yeah, we really did. But we missed you a lot, Tressa. So,
Yeah, sounds like it.
I mean, And we have something very.
really.
We actually
yeah.
have a lot of fun things coming up this week. So.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh, Kara, why don't you
Nonstop.
tell us? Why don't you tell us about tomorrow? What are we doing tomorrow?
So tomorrow is downtown Joliet. It's like I said last week, it's a Joliet-tastic kind of day. So Wednesday, the October 25th, so coming right up to spooky season, there is Spirits on Spirit in downtown Joliet. So we are going to be at the Strange and Unusual Gallery, Rob Johnson and I, and we are going to be talking for like 3 or 4 hours about our ghost stories and all of our cool experiences.
That's a long time. What? 3 or 4
It is.
hours?
3 to
So
4
I
hours?
asked when we were setting it up, I was like, so I have to fill like an hour? I could do an hour. And she's like, it's like 4. And I think it's more like 3. And I said, oh boy, I know Rob and I could talk. Rob and I just talk on the phone for like 3 or 4 hours at a time, and the whole time is filled. So I'm not worried about us talking.
Do we have to sit there and watch you guys
Oh.
talk the entire time?
No, I already asked for a table to sell our wares.
Okay.
Okay.
And where stickers can go. And if you guys want to go check out the
Okay.
Rock and Roll Museum down the street, or anything else
Not
that might be
really.
interesting, you are totally able to go do that, because
Well,
we are
listen.
also friends with them.
I know I know you guys can talk for a long time and tell wonderful stories, and they're going to be delightful, and it's going to be fantastic. But if you have any time to kill, I know a couple of goofs that could easily
Who doesn't
fill
love
in.
improv? I'm asking. I'm not.
Nobody doesn't love improv.
And we just started doing paranormal historic improv. We just need suggestions and we can go and it'll be amazing.
Anytime.
So good.
So that's my way of telling you that all members of Into the Obscure are going to be there, us in support of Kara. We may or may not do some improv, and if they
We'll
kick
do
us
it.
out, we may or may not do some street improv.
We will definitely be doing that, yes.
That's what you have to look forward to, Kara.
Looking forward to it.
Lies. Get out of here with your lies.
Very excited about that part of it. And then the next night, we have been getting ready for this for a very long time. It's going to be a pretty exciting photo shoot for us. So I'm very excited. We're not even going to talk about our outfits or what all is going to happen there. You're just going to be delighted when you see us post all these pictures. So,
You know what?
It's going to be ridiculous and it's going to be fantastic.
Keep your eyes open for our glossies at all those cons coming up because
Oh, buddy, we're coming for it.
you need an autograph? I got one for you.
I mean, it's not mine, but I'll get somebody to
I'm
sign
gonna
something
someone
for
else.
you.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to offer to sign people's books at the Paracons. No one's taken me up on it yet, but one day.
See, I'm saying you just have to write your own.
We'll get there.
You're the one that's going to write it.
I think
We'll
you
get
should
there.
sign other people's books. That's more fun.
I know. That's a little
Less
bit
work.
more funny. I know, right?
Come
Sign
on.
other, just magic marker it. Written by Jenny.
What are you doing? It's fine. It's fine. I'm a
It's all right.
professional.
It's all right.
What else
So
do we have going on, you guys? I don't even know, okay? Jesus Christ.
I mean, so then I have a birthday party to go to on Friday night, and then I work all
Oh.
weekend.
Let me
And
put that in
then
my calendar.
we come really fast up to Halloween, and we have a whole Halloween episode coming up. It is, now that's what I call content, Halloween edition.
What?
So that'll
That's
be
one of our
exciting.
favorites to do because it's just us doing this for way too long. Enjoy.
There's a good solid 5 minutes of just straight up laughter in each one. Maybe
And
Whether
it's
you like it or
Halloween.
not.
So there
Yeah.
might be wigs, there might be hats, there might be nothing
Ooh.
special. You don't know. So tune in to
Yeah.
see what we're up to. It'll be ridiculous either
We'll
way.
all be wearing half costumes. It'll be great.
Just head
It's the bottom
costumes.
half though, so you're just not even going to see
There's,
it.
Yeah,
there's
you
not
have
going
no
to
idea.
be.
But it'll be fantastic.
It'll be so good.
So good.
I got my clown shoes in, by the way, you guys. So.
Oh my God! I'm so
Excellent.
excited to see.
It's very exciting. Man, I don't have anything exciting coming up this weekend. I'm helping a friend buy a car, so I get to
Well,
go to
that's
all
fun.
the dealerships.
Oh, you
It's
don't even know what it's
toasty.
going to be?
I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to tell every dealership that I am Dr. Monroe,
Nice.
so that for the next 3 months I get things addressed to Dr. Monroe,
Nice.
and I can feel good about myself.
It sounds like a mystery character from the 1800s.
I like this. We'll work on that. Let's workshop that
is-
later.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll work on that.
This is
Yeah.
interesting to me, just
Couple
going
of
dealership
goodies.
to dealership, like, and just not knowing.
Yeah.
It sounds like
That
hell,
gives me
but
so much anxiety. Like, you
just
just got to
hate
pick
it.
it and order it.
Nope. We're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants on this one. See what
Yeah.
kind of cars they let us drive.
Do not care
That
for
sounds
it.
just terrible. So you enjoy that
very spooky. Thank you.
because it's terrible.
Will be spooky. Jarrett's got all sorts of conspiracy theories that he can tell me about, and then I can come back to you guys with. It's gonna be great.
And then get us banned by people. So
Maybe. Who knows?
also, you guys, my newest obsession on social media is everybody please buy our merch, because my favorite thing is that. But also, when you go and you buy one of our t-shirts, it's just t-shirts right now. We'll work on accessories, and then you send us a picture, post it, then we share it. And I love the crap out of seeing you guys wearing these shirts and, you know, the thought of it and sharing it and everything. So really, you know, and if you have like a paranormal group or something cool, you know, we inadvertently advertise that in our posts then. So, you know,
It's an accident. We don't mean to.
It's
'Cause
a
we don't like
little-
you that much. But
it's a little win-win, right? So you get a shirt
All
that's
kinds of win-win.
amazing and it looks great and it feels great and it's super cool. The designs are fantastic. And
wow, what a sales lady.
you
this
get
one.
you and your group featured in like way too many posts that I make.
So-
Let's be honest. If
so
you
many
follow
posts.
me, it's a lot of posts.
So many posts.
So, you know,
She's not
just
lying.
enticing you.
No.
You know, I'm not lying. It's so many posts. Because also I forget that my accounts are linked and things repost. So then I say, oh no. So it'll be extra posts.
Mhm.
I heard
And
you
then
like
we
posts
all
of your posts.
Then we all repost and tag everybody, so then it's like 4 or 5 different posts. Yeah, we had Larry get one.
Today, Larry of
Today?
Expedition Entity.
He got one. He did some sort of professional photo in it too.
It was So we do chuckle. Like, I'm going to say these Paraflix people we know, they all have some nice white background to pose against for their stuff. And we've been kind of giggling about that. Sorry, Paraflix people.
They
when
have
you
good
take your
lighting.
pictures. But
They have
then
everything.
now Larry has a black background to take it with perfect lighting. So I give him credit.
They're so on their game with those photos. I am telling you,
Mm-hmm.
all of those guys, and Paige does it too. Like perfect background, perfect lighting. They look so nice. It's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of. What did you pay? Like $20 for that photo? I don't know how much photos cost.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
No, Sierra's getting her shirt tomorrow. So Sierra, I cannot wait to see it. And I cannot wait
Mm-hmm.
to feature you. And she's laughing about these guys being so professional. She just has her bedroom. So
Well, have you seen? And Aaron Thompson is another one of those guys who like. What are we doing here? Do we have screens in back and lighting setups and so many poses?
Aaron, he just does a lot of TikTok stuff.
Tressa.
Tressa.
So the one thing everybody listening, over on the Paranormal 60, Dave was pretty like, we don't swear here.
And that's why
we
you
said
didn't hear that, because
Tressa's-
we edited it out.
Yep,
Because I
Tressa's
am
the
a
problem.
professional.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike
just be
these
that,
guys.
That's the only part I'm going to edit out. That's it. Just the word. The entire conversation is going to still be in there. You're welcome for a future
the
audience.
rest of the swearing.
Yeah. Oh, Jen's taking you to task, too.
Yes. So
She's not
Jen,
pleased.
friend of the show, Jen, is saying, I take great pictures, so I hope you guys, it might be true. But also, Tressa has a potty mouth, so Jen is right on all
Listen,
counts today. Thanks,
I'm an
Jen.
adult.
Now,
I can
we're
do
giving
adult
these
things.
Yeah, we're giving these guys a hard time about all of this setup, but it looks like someone's taking photos of them, right? Kara's selfies and pictures of other people, like in the world, top notch. Cannot be beat.
Thanks. It's my love language.
Yeah, and it's always been like that. Like ever since I met her.
So we say Jenny has the nice words. All of our descriptions are written by Jenny. If it was up to me, I'd be like, listen to our newest episode. Boom. But I'll take a picture of you. It'll be a nice time. So we all have our talents.
We do.
You guys,
Because
what are
I
we
feel
doing
like you're
today?
funny. I don't know. We're just
Do you
talking
wanna-
right now.
Thank you. No,
Do we
I'm just
wanna-
asking, why are we here tonight?
Well,
I don't even
So
know.
why are we here? Well, that's the big question, and I think the answer is 42. But most
Solid.
importantly, I'm going to spin you a tale. I'm going to read from Speaking of Merch, my phone with a Paranormal 60 phone case. Everyone should get that. It's my little product placement. But I'm going to read you a story about a prison because obviously I love my prisons. If
I
anybody's
knew it.
been following along, I take any opportunity given to talk about prisons. So
What? I don't know this about you.
I know, it's so weird. So I do enjoy my prisons and I do enjoy stories about them. So, really quick, I'm going to stop at my prison story. One of Crimson Vision 2112 just asked, where do I get the case? You go to the Paranormal 60 swag shop. So that's where it is. If you follow us, I've posted the link today. The Paranormal 60 swag shop. So is where you go for Dave's accessories. Anyway, the Castlemaine Gaol is in Australia. So we might be talking about this a little later. This is going to tie into our guest, everybody. So the old Castlemaine Gaol is a former prison. It's located in Castlemaine, Australia, or Castlemaine, Victoria, Australia. The building was modeled on Pentonville Prison in London, replacing the original designed by Inspector General John Price, which was never occupied. So it was built in 1861 to house offenders from the goldfields in nearby towns. It served various functions in the penal system before it was closed in 1990, and its prisoners were transferred to HM Prison in Loddon. So there's a prison near and dear to my heart that is local to us. So this sounds pretty old, but we do reflect pretty often. It's the Joliet Correctional Center, you guys. Of course, that's what I'm going to talk about. But that one was built in, opened in 1858. So If I had more wherewithal to do some research, I'd be like, is there some connection? Was something happening at this time in the world, or were we just throwing a lot of people in prisons? Probably throwing a lot of people in prisons.
Yeah,
There was
and
a lot
it's
of bread to
Australia,
steal.
So,
Yeah.
You know, it was usually pretty little things that got people thrown in these prisons. But my favorite prison closed in 2002. This one closed in 1990. So it's amazing to think how very long this building was open. So I can only imagine just how much history. So from 1861 to 1908, the jail housed all manner of criminals, including lunatics and debtors. 10 men were hanged within the walls. In the latter of these years, however, the jail housed mostly short-term prisoners and first-time offenders. Between 1909 and 1951, the jail was converted into a reformatory school for boys aged between 16 and 25. Most were under 21. I wonder what it was like. It probably was not a very nice school at that point. Probably pretty
I'm
horrible.
sure it's fine. I'm sure it's great.
I'm sure it was
Like
great.
summer camp. It's fine.
It was right around that time, and my favorite jail that they were starting to remodel eventually around the 50s, but until then it was a bucket in the corner and crammed into little tiny cells.
Yeah, buckets.
Yeah, pretty horrible. So I don't know if that's how it was at the school. I feel my theory is they called it a reformatory school and it was really just a jail for some younger guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So the jail then closed for a number of years before reopening in 1954 to accommodate medium security prisons from across the state, and it stayed that way until 1990. After it ceased prison operations, it was used as a hotel and tourist attraction. Well, I'm sad I missed that. And it served as a studio for local community radio station, as well as various small businesses. So in 2018, pretty recently, it was sold to an artist, David Bromley. And that brings us to today.
I'm going to hold my tongue on this artist and his use of this jail. But
well, I did a little reading on it too, and it was based around, so the prison that it was based around, and in one of its core beliefs was isolation, right? So all of the prisoners usually stayed by themselves, and they were in these larger, relatively speaking, larger cells, but they were solo, and the way that the prison was laid out was they couldn't talk in between cells.
Oh.
You know, it was kind of down like hallways. So it was there was a lot of light in there. It was a bigger space, but still pretty run down because, you know, everything smelled like a bathroom because you had a lot of people
Buckets.
in one area and buckets. And it was a work prison. So the prisoners would work from like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Like meager meals in between.
Just like today.
Yeah, just like today. But the big thing was the isolation that they did. And it had like these levels that the criminals were sort of housed in according to security or the nature of their crimes. But they threw everybody in there all together. So people who would go to a poorhouse, like back in the day, back in when these things were starting off, were just people who couldn't afford to live anyplace. So it would be like scooping up homeless and just sort of locking them away.
Yep.
And that's how they dealt with it. And then, of course, like the lunatic fringe, which was anybody who was any kind of mental illness whatsoever. And that would also most of the time like include unwed mothers or, you know, prostitutes, addicts,
Sex workers.
sex workers. Thank you, Tressa.
You're welcome.
I gotta represent that carefully. So yeah, it would be anybody who was seen as unfit for society. They would just kind of be shoved into prisons for various crimes, and everybody was all mixed up together. So
Right. Yeah, yes. Anything, anywhere, anybody. You know what? You're here, so you obviously, it doesn't matter which part of this jail you're in. Let's just like put you in. It's fine. And then you can take care of the kids that get born out of this hellhole.
So, and I feel like, and I don't know anything about Joliet history, so that would be something that would be interesting to find the correlation in between. But there was an upswing in population around this town, and due to industry and gold and all of those things. And so the small little, like, town jail wouldn't hold everybody, so that's why they started building things like that. But I don't know about Joliet. You know, reason to stand the same reason, but who knows? Not me.
It was always this size, and they just kept building it up, and they just kept cramming people in as much as they needed to. But yeah, no, just same period in the world. The principle wasn't isolation, though. In Joliet, there was a lot more reform built in. The isolation would ensure that everybody lost their minds, though.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you could, like, talk between cells, I would be fine with having my own cell. Like, yes, please. I don't want to see you. I want my own area. I don't want to have a roommate in my life sentence. But not being able to talk to anyone between, that's messed up.
Yeah. So they do still, I guess, do haunted tours and whatnot throughout this prison, and there's a couple of the ghosts that are like the hanged individuals, because that's how they rolled with their execution, was gallows, which is just creepy as hell. But I guess not
more pleasant than the electric chair, though.
Yeah.
That's at least generally going to be pretty instant.
I mean, it's all terrible, but it should all just be reserved for billionaires. That's all I'm saying. I don't.
It's a really cool building if you look at pictures and whatnot. It's really neat when people. It's really neato when people sort of try to preserve these old spaces, and especially go and explore these old spaces and open them up to sort of the paranormal field. You know, I think Joliet did that for a while. Are they still doing that?
They sure are not.
It seems like a shame.
It is a shame. Dave did a whole nice video on that. So that's...
You know, I wonder if our listeners could possibly, like, Google some of that information at some point.
Weird. Maybe. I mean, the internet is vast.
They could probably look it up a little bit.
You guys, you know what I think we should do right now?
What?
I think we should take a quick break and then introduce our guest. Huh?
You're a smart lady.
Sounds appropriate.
All right. See you guys later. Bye. Oh, wait. We're still here. God. Bye. Mic up. Come on.
All right. That wasn't too
Welcome
long,
back.
I really just wanted to, like, languish in that little break there. Welcome back, everybody.
That was really odd. maybe we don't go so long next time.
What? No, I think it's great.
Like
we did a great time. No,
I started to panic. I thought you guys had me locked up and I was isolated someplace. I did not appreciate that.
Jenny, I would never. But you guys, without... Oh no, is he even there? Fill time while I make sure he's there.
Fantastic. I want to hear more about your experiences within the jail and working in some of these old places, Kara.
Oh, well, that's a whole episode in and of itself, or maybe 3 to 4 hours all on its own. While we wait, there's a couple in comments. Crinsel Vision 2112 did ask Collins Street or Statesville. It is Collins Street. I would love to get into Statesville and the Octagon. That would be amazing, but have not been able to yet. They're both very close by to each other, though.
You know what? Hey, shut up. Hey. Sorry. Everybody, let's welcome Andy Slater.
Welcome. Yay.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Yeah, turn on your camera or something, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because you're just coming in real loud in my
Just
ears.
a
Yeah,
voice.
you're very loud.
Like the
God,
wizard.
are you there?
Is the camera on?
There you
yes.
go. But
There
you're
he
still
is.
pretty loud.
Of course I'm loud.
Oh,
How's this? Is this better?
Now we can't
we
hear
doing?
you.
Now,
who is this guy?
maybe it is better
How's
than
that?
if we
Is that
can't
better?
hear a
How's
thing.
this? Is this good?
I don't know. You
Uh,
tell me. You're the sound
Yeah.
I'm
guy.
so glad we
How about
sorted.
this? Is this good? How's that?
Yeah, you know what? I'll
Oh,
just
you're-
turn you way down.
yep.
That's
Oh.
fine. No, that's fine. Nope.
That's my
Don't-
life.
Oh, this is wow.
I'm
That
so
got
glad
off
we
well.
worked this out before the show, so
I'm
this
We
wouldn't
did.
happen.
We did it.
And you
I'm
look
glad you did
so much worse than before, so that's great too.
That's what she tells him every night.
That's a way to
dare
keep
you.
it keep
You
it
know,
strong.
I'm blind. I
left
don't
it
need to
right
look at
there.
anything. I don't need to see anything.
So who is this guy? Who's this guy?
So this is Andy Slater. Everybody clap for Andy Slater.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that.
Woo!
Thank you. So I sent over an intro that I thought you were going to read. Never got confirmation that you got the email, but I think it would be great context to kind of give the listeners and viewers a little.
Yeah.
hint
Got
about-
it. Hold on.
All right,
Andy
we're still-
Slater.
oh,
Shut
okay.
up. Andy Slater is an award-winning media artist and 51st level member of the International Blind Persons Conclave. He is based in the Chicagoland area where he shacks up with his lovely wife Tressa. He exhibits and performs his art and music all over the world. He has been published in a bunch of highfalutin academic journals, including McSweeney's Quarterly Concern and English Studies in Canada. He has been acknowledged. Oh, Jesus Christ, how long is this? He has been acknowledged for all of his bullshit in the New York Times, Washington Post, BBC Outlook, and High Times magazine. Hailing originally from Milford, Connecticut, he is no stranger to creepy weirdness or historical paranormalities. Jesus Christ.
Man, we had like 15 people
Thank
pop into
you.
the chat like during that intro. I mean,
Oh,
welcome,
does that mean that
Andy.
you need to read it again?
Welcome,
No, I'm
Andy.
pretty sure. No.
Super
Welcome.
happy.
Glad to have
Thank
you.
Thank you, friends. I do have a question. Am I allowed to drink while I'm on this?
Yes, but you are
No
not
one
allowed
else
to swear.
does.
I can't swear. All right. Thank you. I will not swear. I will do my absolute best. I almost swore. Sorry about that. Hey, thank you for having me. And it's really like that's a great coincidence that you were talking about Old Castlemaine Jail.
I know,
Isn't it
isn't that
so weird?
It's so weird.
So
Did you know that they
weird.
spell it Gaol? That's
Yes.
weird.
Yeah,
I
like,
didn't
that's
specify.
Crazy.
And I for sure didn't Google it today to confirm the pronunciation.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
was
why
the
would you?
extent
That
of
would be
my
crazy.
extensive research today.
That's that. You know what? That works out because like I had no idea how to pronounce it. I was like, Gaol? What are we doing?
Gaol?
What are we doing here?
Mhm.
People don't
doing
know
Australia?
spell things in the olden times.
Yeah,
fine.
it's honestly was so confusing. But it's a really cool, creepy space. I've been there.
What?
What?
So grateful we talked about it
I
today.
know. In
What a
2018,
coincidence.
before the quote artist Bromley purchased it.
Oh,
Oh,
I was gonna
shots
ask.
fired.
Well, I don't want to talk too much about him, but yeah. So, but it was a really cool, wonderful, scary place that I've never been to. Any place that was like historically haunted or had that much kind of history and just legend about it. So I also at the time was really afraid of flying. So a 17-hour flight to go and hang out in a haunted space. I was like, you know what? I'm a man, right? Crying in the corner. Yeah, so I was invited to go out there to do some recording and some art stuff and some blind people stuff. And I got the National Endowment of the Arts to pay for my travel. So your tax dollars at work, folks, support the NEA and everything that we do. And I got out there and to just like work on some art. So, and this was like my first introduction to old prisons and like colonial spaces like that. So um yeah, I don't really know too much about Joliet prison. I'm learning whenever I listen to your show. Um
Every episode.
Every single
um
time.
but like that whole like you were talking about like how there was this sort of like seclusion or separation from everybody, and they had that sort of like that starlight, is it like a panopticon sort of shape where like the guards can stand in the atrium and look down all three hallways, where there were hallways, there was a corridor,
Oh.
three corridors with a mezzanine, right? And so they could see um the way that it was designed, they could see down every corridor to see if like I don't know, one of the inmates was trying to pass a note, or I don't know really, whatever, but you could also hear everything that was going on. Like I was standing in the atrium and I could hear like the faucet dripping like 400 feet away, like it was right in my ear, right? So it's this weird, I respected how it was designed, but also repulsed by what had happened there and why it was there, you know? Um yeah, I don't know, being a blind person in those spaces was just kind of it was a lot. And they had to lock me in. I was there by myself for
Oh.
2 days. They locked me in. They're like, "All right, mate, get to recording, doing your thing." And I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll see you later. What's up if I need to leave and get a sandwich?" Because there was like a place like down the bit near the
Sure.
near the train tracks, and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, no, you can't leave. You're locked in." And that was because there were ghost hunters trying to get in and break into the prison while I was there. So I'm
The
like,
worst.
so
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
well, I just laughed because here I am just here to do some art stuff and, you know, just be my regular, ridiculous self. And these people were really intent on getting in. And I'm just like, I don't know where I am. What's happening? Um, but yeah, so, and then I made some sound art about it. And it's been,
The
and my
end.
whole
It
trip
was great having you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Good story.
But it is a good story. So there's so yeah, I mean, I don't know where to go from there unless you want me to talk to kind of I
What
guess
are you talking about?
validate some of the things that you had mentioned.
So,
Reading.
I'm gonna, depart maybe from like it might involve the ghost, but what's the sound art that comes from the prison? Like, why be locked in a prison for days in Australia? What are you getting from that art wise that you wouldn't get from, sitting in your studio?
So like I had said, that it was designed acoustically so that you can just hear whatever was going on, right? And so my collaborator who invited me out there was like, we're doing an art show, we're doing an installation, and all these sort of things. Can you find your way out here to get you in there to activate the space with your cane, or like
Okay.
echolocations, and just kind of like
Oh.
make these sounds and stuff that have never been in that space, like intentionally.
Oh.
Yeah, so I went in there and I, did some sound collage, Andy, um, BS, and they took that score and made a short film about it, or with that sound and stuff. It was really just a way to, um, I don't know, maximize the absurdity of this space before it got sold to somebody. Use it up and do all this weird stuff, which is kind of like what I do. And I think, Tressa, you know that, right?
Oh, I wasn't familiar with
She
your
was
work.
unclear.
I didn't.
So yeah, I would do a bunch of recordings, like hours of recordings in this space, either like binaural recordings, which means the microphones are on the outside of my ears, so they give you that kind of perspective, or just other stuff, and weird sound art stuff. And so the cane hitting against the wall sounds really cool. All these other weird things that happened that I don't necessarily know if they were
Yeah, like what?
So
EVPs.
that's the next
I don't
Andy,
think
come
question.
they
on,
were
that's why you're here.
EVPs. What's that?
That's why you're here. What weird stuff happened?
Way to bury the lead, dude.
I swear
Right?
to God.
What happened when you opened your beer, dude?
Ow! Okay, so what had happened was there were thanks. That was really.
You're welcome.
I was recording, and I came back and I listened to the tapes, and there's these three corridors, like I said. When I would walk down one, the sound in the whole space would be quiet, right? There was like this kind of like slamming and banging and stuff that I just thought was the wind. I was like, oh, this is just the wind hitting a shutter or something like that. And there's all these crows. And listening to the recordings as I would walk down one of the corridors, those sounds would stop. And then as I started walking away from them back to the middle of the atriums, the sounds would start up again. And I brought this up as like, so what's going on? I'm like, oh yeah, that was probably, the spirits stopping this and that because they wanted to make sure that you were cool. And I didn't understand any of that. I didn't know if they were messing with me. It was really kind of weird. And when I went back and listened to all that stuff, I got really kind of freaked out, right? And then there's also down in the dungeon, there's a solitary confinement spaces, which were these really tiny rooms with really tall ceilings, and the door is on the inside because I was like, here, shut me in here. I want to know what it's like. There's like all these like fingernail scratches, like people trying to get out, and there's metal plates in the bottom of the door from people trying to kick the door open. But I finally understand when people are like, hey, I'm in this space and it is really cold now. 1 minute it was really, it was fine. You get into one weird space and it's cold, and like inside those solitary spaces, there was an obvious temperature change, and then like just kind of the density of the air, right? And things sounded different. And I don't know, I've never experienced anything like that before, right? And so that kind of freaked me out. And that was down by the dungeon. And I went down there at night. We're like, hey, let's go to the dungeon at night. And that was really, I don't know, I was waiting to just get murdered or something like that, right? It really freaked me out. I've never been in a situation where I was actually really that scared before. Needless to say, I really kind of dug it, right? And then so
It's a great
Obviously.
time.
anyway, like
Yeah.
I need to know that I'm alive. I want proof of life.
Mhm.
But then so I was also left alone with a beer. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna open this beer. There's no bottle opener. Oh, what is this? A chain? Oh yeah, the link in that chain looks like it's gonna open my beer bottle. So I pop it open and I start drinking, and I start to get a really nauseous and the headache and everything. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? There was like a little heater in this space. And I thought maybe it was like a gas heater and I was getting some kind of carbon monoxide or whatever. I don't know, whatever would cause that. And they're like, no, man, it's an electric heater. You shouldn't be feeling that way. And they're like, what'd you do? And it's like, I popped it open with that chain over there. Like, oh, that's one of the shackles, man. That's like you popped your beer open with a shackle. And yeah, I don't know. It was something I can't explain. Just like my urge to sit on the rocking horse. There was a rocking horse in there. Like, oh, I'm going to sit on it. And they just jumped in front of me. Do not do that. And I was like, why? Like, that's the wood that was made out of the wood from the gallows, because there used to be children, like orphans, would be brought into that prison and given to some of the women that were imprisoned, like the sex workers and stuff, and they would care for these children. And so the prisoners made this beautiful rocking horse out of the old wood from the gallows and all those sort of things.
Aw.
And apparently that's haunted. It was a beautiful rocking horse, but
I bet it was.
it was so beautiful. Never seen such. Yeah, I don't know. It was really cool and weird at the same time. And they had some of the people that they hung buried in the exercise yard or whatever that might have
Really?
been called, and they were buried head first vertically, because that meant that their head and their heart was closer to hell and further from heaven.
Yes.
Oh, that's
wow.
Now,
well.
I
so
know
they
that-
were marked graves, like in the
No.
exercise yard? No. Okay, I was
No,
like,
they were
did
just,
they?
yeah, I was told that they were there.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love this so much.
Yeah.
Um,
I told
okay,
you this
so did
prison
you
is
notice
fascinating.
like different times of day, like, because if, the times that they're out working, the times that they're doing things, is it different sounds during those times of days than when they're
Yes.
all supposed to be locked back up or getting, quiet time? Would you notice differences?
Yes, and so a lot of it had to do with the different birds that you can hear. There was a lot of
Oh,
crows. Like those guys were just like, mocking me. And I don't know, Australian Castlemaine crows sound different than Chicago crows. So I really kind of was like, why are you here? Go away. And then there were some like sparrows and starlings and stuff. And then all of a sudden there'd be these points where there'd be absolute silence um, with none of the animals, none of the birds or anything like that. And you would just kind of hear the train that went by every once in a while. Um, and I would just kind of think about, I don't know. It's like, oh, it's noon, it's lunch, it's weird and eerie, right? And maybe that was about the time when they were all off to lunch. And so one of the things that they did, like this place is brutal, right? They would hood you when they would take you out of the cell and bring you to lunch and all that sort of thing, so that
get
you couldn't
out.
you couldn't see or hear where other people's cells were,
Oh my
right?
God, they were so serious about the
They
were so
information.
serious.
destroyed all of your senses. It was brutal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there was, and there were a lot of like indigenous folks and miners, like, gold, people for the gold rush that came from China and these sort of things that were like put in here for really like no reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you had
Yeah,
said,
that's
debtors
what they
and stuff
did.
like that. Yeah, that's how it is, right? Um, but there was also there was this big cell. Like people had their own cells. There were no double monks or anything. You had mentioned that. And there was one cell that was, there was a plaque outside that said that this person was a serial killer, right? And they murdered these many people and blah, blah, blah. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but it was a weird room and it was different than the rest of them, right? And so we had an art show, um, an art exhibition there that was like, I don't know, funded by Victoria, Australia government and that sort of thing. It was like a really cool sort of thing. And there was this guy who was doing this performance where he was skipping rope, right? Doing these jump rope sort of things and these sort of like songs and little rhymes or he was basically naming going off the list of people that had been hung and executed there.
Wow.
And he was in that space. And when he got to naming the person whose cell that was, the light bulb over his head went on and he stopped and everybody ran out of the room. And basically, like the person that was the, like, I don't know, the manager, the maintenance person of the space was like, yeah, there's no electricity in that room.
That's
That light should
awesome.
not be on. And they caught it on film, and I don't know where it went. I'll have to find it and share it with you. But everybody, I'm like sitting in the other side, of the building down in the atrium, and people come rushing out, and I'm like, what now? And like, we'll talk about it later, Andy. Just
I'll talk about it later.
yeah. And so that was really something where I'm like, I'm not that I was a skeptic or anything. I just never been in situations where I wasn't like hunting down something that already existed, like when we used to try to go to like Dudley Town and that sort of thing in high school. But it was just kind of like, whoa, this happened right here. And that's the thing that made me really start thinking about all of the other things that I experienced in that situation. And not being able to see, like I have some vision. I'm not totally blind, but I use sound for like everything, and I'm used to changes in like acoustics depending on the environment and the time of day and all these other things. I'm used to that kind of stuff. Um, but when there's sort of this context of, yeah, the changes in the environment and the acoustic climate and that sort of thing may not be natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I really started thinking about it. Um, and yeah, I still have hours of these recordings, and
Oh,
um,
wow.
I'm not an EVP expert, and all the
But
stuff was recorded digitally, but there's stuff that I can't. I don't know the reason why they happen. It's like, wait, I've heard a lot of things in my life, and I don't know why in the world that would be happening. Like, why does this sound like the wind is backwards? I didn't do that. I would do
Interesting.
that, but I didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, so I mean, you never heard any actual voices, or because you weren't necessarily trying to say, "Hey, is anybody here?" Or is anybody? You were just recording the sound.
Right. I did at one point when I was out in the yard, and I have a video, and I got up the courage because I was still by myself. Like, all right, who's here? Are there ghosts? Are there people here? Talk to me now. What's up? I'm comfortable now hearing from you. And nothing happened. And that was kind of like my last day there. And I reviewed the video, and there was nothing there. There's like one little recording that I have that sounds like maybe there is a voice, but it also could be something else. It's just so quick, as if it's like some kind of vowel or like vocal formant, like somebody going "want," where it sounds like it could be a voice.
Sometimes
But
that's what it is.
I know, but that's the thing, is like I'm so used to what they call the acousmatic, where it's a sound that you can't identify, right? That's like,
Hmm.
that's just what it is. So it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's a thing. All this weird stuff was going on. But nothing was recorded with magnetic tape, right? That's what I wish I had, was like a tape
Yeah.
recorder, because that's where all the magic happens.
Why is that, Andy? Tell us.
Because magnets. Does anybody really know what they do?
Full
Magnets
stop.
are magic.
Magnets.
That's not what I was getting. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know.
You do you.
Hey, you know what? You led me
No, I'm
there.
good.
I did
No,
it.
I'm good.
So
Um,
everybody, magnets.
Yep. Oh, and then real quick, the same person, Faye and Devi, who was the person that invited me out there, also the summer before, took me out to Northern California to visit the SETI Institute, the satellite
Stop.
array.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I have like recordings on site there of all of the satellites moving around, and also a conversation that I had with some cows, because it's like a radio-free zone where there's no radio stations and you have to have your phone off and that sort of thing. And the cows were the most entertaining thing. But yeah, SETI. So yeah, we got invitation to SETI, and I guess the guy from Ancient Aliens with the hair was there the day before.
Oh.
I
Stop
forget his
it.
name. He's
Giorgio
lovely.
Tsoukalos.
Yes. So he was there like the day before, and there were people that showed up there because there's like a visiting center, and they were asking me. I'm like walking around with like my iPod with a microphone extended, and like, "Are you taking readings?" And I didn't get it. I was thinking like, I'm not a tarot reader. Like I didn't immediately get it. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm doing recordings." Oh my! I'm like, yeah, and I was recording the air vent, right? But it was cool. And
I'm just getting footsteps. That's all I want.
Yep. But the guy who was there, who may still be one of the people that goes in every day and checks the data and computers, he was a real cool skeptic. He's like, I haven't seen any proof of any of this. I don't know if I care or not, but I'm just here to gather the facts. And
What exactly was the goal of getting anything from SETI? Like, that doesn't seem like a haunted place. It doesn't seem
Nope.
like you get alien stuff. I don't understand
So
what you would
I
get
was-
at SETI.
I was part of another art show that had to do with some like amateur stargazers and people that built these huge telescopes and radio telescopes and that sort of thing, trying to search for sound and life in space, right? And so I was basically there to get sounds of those huge satellites. So it was basically more like something you'd go and do if you were working for a film and gathering those kind of sounds. But then Fayen, was there and interviewing people for this documentary. So, it was something where I didn't hear aliens.
Are you sure?
Wow.
It'd be kind of great if you did. If just every
Really?
place that you got sent to do like art-based sound recording, that you just heard
Bam!
all of the paranormal stuff that
Yep.
everyone's been looking
Whoops.
for.
Yep.
Yep.
How did
Like,
that
oh, I
happen?
got
That's
it.
Bigfoot.
Hey,
I
Andy.
was just
Yeah,
chatting
what's up?
with him.
Stephen Greer is right. Multi-dimensional travel is real. Follow me. Yeah, that would
Bro.
be, yeah. But I mean, that was cool. And then also really close to there were these caves, so I also got to go and like record
Caves. We love
walking through a
caves.
cave with my
Caves are
cane.
amazing. I
It was
didn't know
really
about
like
this.
you knew about it because I
Oh.
sent you
I
the
didn't-
video, and you were like, "Oh my
Oh.
God, what is that going by
You
in
just
front of you?"
didn't care until we all loved caves.
It was
Right.
I
5
just
years
forgot.
ago.
Yeah, I have a bad memory.
Yeah, but yeah, I've I've had these opportunities to just be this person to go in and do weird stuff like that because I'm a artist and I'm
Oh.
blind. Yeah, you
You
knew
have
that,
to
though.
tell us. Well, okay, shut up. You have to tell everyone about how the very first time you ever heard Coast to Coast with Art Bell, because
Oh,
you just
yeah.
told me this and I love it so much.
So, as Tressa read in the intro in my bio, I'm from Milford, Connecticut, where I think that your friend Jeffrey Bellinger may broadcast from or live, right? So it's this wonderful
Who
space
knows?
outside of New Haven where there's a lot of like weird stuff, right? So, I just pop on the AM radio one night in like 96 or 97 and I'm listening and it's Art Bell, Coast to Coast. And there's a woman talking and, he's like, "Where are you from?" And she's like, "I'm from Milford, Connecticut." And he's like, "Okay, go ahead." And she's talking about some UFO stuff. And so for the longest time, I thought Art Bell was local to Connecticut. So I turned it on. I'm in Milford and she's talking and I'm like, "Who's this Art Bell guy? Like, I want to, he's probably at the radio station in the neighboring town, blah, blah, blah." So yeah, that's the
I love that
story
so
where
much.
it's just a cute little kismet thing.
It's so cute.
And
I
then when
love it.
Tressa and I started dating and we're like, "Oh my God, it's 3 a.m. and we're just getting home from the bar. Let's put on like WLS and listen to Art Bell." "You like Art Bell too?" "Yeah, dude, Roswell." And then when Y2K happened, that was the peak of
Roswell.
awesomeness. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Y2K.
All right.
Yeah, anyway, so but yeah, if you want a little backstory of me and Tressa, that was one of our initial bonding things, was like Hall and Oates and then Art Bell.
That's
I like
right.
all of this. I'm writing all of this down
Yes.
for when I
Our-
attempt to steal.
For when we get married.
Yeah, for when I attempt to steal your wife so that she
Thank
can just be friends
you.
with me forever.
Well, or you could say was a silver anniversary, 25 years in 2 years. You can get us a Hall and Oates Art Bell airbrush shirt, like they used to do the Biggie and Tupac shirt.
Yes.
Or
What?
That
Instead
actually
of
was
trying to
perfect.
destroy your love, maybe I'll celebrate your love.
right.
No, destroy it, Jenny. We should be together.
Oh my
But we can be friends
Andy,
forever.
shut up.
And then you can just cuddle with Andy.
Andy, shut up.
It's gonna
Will
be
there be
great,
snacks?
guys. So many snacks. We
There's
love
always
snacks.
snacks.
We love snacks. If there's a couple of things that we love, it's caves, aliens, ghosts, cryptids, and snacks.
Snacks.
Yep.
I mean,
Obviously.
Cool.
not even in that
Wait,
order.
No. They change. They change
Yeah.
out intermittently.
Yeah.
Andy,
If you're
I
hungry,
have
snacks are first.
a question for you. So, with Tressa's, newer sort of meeting some of these ghost hunters that go out to these spaces, have you ever thought about maybe seeing if you could tag along and do some sound stuff there, doing
put
some
me in
recording,
this.
or?
Just talk
Okay,
to
Kara.
him. Don't put me in this.
All right.
Come
So any of us that you've just now met.
I've thought about it, but I don't want to get in the way of Tressa's stuff. So if I was invited, yeah. Or I could give you guys equipment to do that stuff. But I mean, I'm always up for doing some weird stuff. And I'm patient, right? So like that's like I'll sit all day waiting for something.
Better
No,
than
you're
any of
not.
us.
But
All right, fine. I mean, listen, I've I saw the Warrens when I was like 14 or something like that.
oh yeah, didn't they speak at your like grade school or
So
something?
the high school I went to.
So
yeah.
that's a
Same
story.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
but-
so
Right,
did
like
they
what?
did the high school bring them in?
Yeah, and then they would do stuff at the high school didn't like it was just a thing where they used the auditorium, right? So they were at my high school and they were at like Southern Connecticut State University a lot. And like this was early 90s, right? When I don't know, a lot of this stuff was still just like local legend, right? Even like Amityville Horror or like Dudleytown or like the White Lady in the Bridgeport Cemetery, things that we all ended up like, oh my God, we need to see this. We need to figure this out. Let's all do acid and then go and try to find them.
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah,
You're
but like the
kids.
Warrens would play like weird, creepy recordings of stuff and exorcisms and that sort of thing. And I mean, I was a metalhead, still am a metalhead. Like this is awesome, yeah, sweet, and never even really thought about like what the repercussions of putting that audio, if it is a real recording of an exorcism or whatever, putting that back into another space, if that kind of like
Mhm.
lets that spirit or whatever that may be, that demon or whatever, into that space. And so when I started thinking like, oh man, what if there's a demon in my high school? That would be awesome.
Ooh.
Because there was a big Led Zeppelin mural left over from the 70s. and so-
Spoiler, it was
Yep.
the gym teacher.
oh yeah, no, it was.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know,
The
it always
football
is.
coach. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Are
a
you
different
kidding
story.
me?
But man, like coming up from that area, doing like the church I went to was like built in like the 1600s and that sort of thing, and those cemeteries are old. And so there's a lot of cool lore and a lot of cool stuff, and then a lot of dark roads that you just can't navigate, right? And spent a lot of time as a teenager trying to find those experiences, and I guess maybe sometimes we did. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it was more about who you met along the way.
Acid.
Yeah.
It's more
Who I
about
did meet
acid.
along. Yes, yes, absolutely.
You guys, we're at the end of the hour.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Andrew Slater, is that your name? Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure, and thank you for sharing your experiences in Australia and other places around the world. Ladies, do you have anything to add to that?
No,
I do.
just-
Thank you so much, and thank you again if we had any new listeners coming over from Paranormal 60, and we will be airing. We will be coming onto the Paranormal 60 network starting tomorrow, so very exciting. And all of our normal streaming, airing, whatever, broadcasting, the places where you listen to us, we're going to be there, and then we're also going to be on this Paranormal 60. Stop laughing at me.
No, you did a great job, just like me all the time.
Nailed it.
So thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week on Tuesday. Goodbye.